Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. My name is Heather. I'm an intuitive artist, psychic channeler, medium, animal communicator, and I'm on a mission to empower and embolden others to connect with their divine radiant light and honor the sacred connection with all life. One of my favorite ways to do that is with a monthly energy forecast, and I've been doing these since 2022. And drum roll, please, my friends, we are not only turning the corner into a new month, we are turning the corner into a new year. How many of you feel like this is a pretty substantial change? To me, one way that I keep seeing it is if you're familiar with going to an airport where you can walk to your gate, or there's the kind of motorized track, the people mover, not an escalator because it's flat, but you can stand on that and it moves you a little faster. It feels like we were all walking to our gate just happily, carrying our baggage in more ways than one. And now we stepped onto the people mover. And so we're like, wow, we're going a little bit faster. What do you think about what's coming? A lot of people are saying there's been a timeline shift. I'm one of those people. I feel like we were headed in the same or similar direction, but we've kind of taken maybe a bypass on the highway or the express route, depending on who you ask and where you think that destination is for all of us. We're going to unpack a lot of this as we go forward, but I want to give you kind of the lay of the land and the structure of these monthly forecasts. So if you're new here, you know what to expect and kind of how it's going to go as we progress through this conversation. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the theme. It's typically a word, and that is something that my team of guides gives me, and they expand on it in what is after the theme, a channeled message. Then I'll come back on camera. I mean, I'm still on camera when I'm channeling, but I'll come back and look you right in the eyes during the discussion. And we kind of unpack the theme a little bit and we talk about it some more, and some other things kind of drop in, or I can expand on some of the messages as I observed them through the channeling. Then we look at the art for the month. So if you're unfamiliar with why is there art for the month, I channel the frequency art that represents the word for the month. So we'll take a look at that. And then we're going to, for 2025, we're going to include an affirmation for the month. And that's something that you can take with you. We'll put it up on screen. We'll say it together. You can take it with you throughout the month to kind of dial in to that setting, to what we talked about here today. It's like a little mental post-it note to help you remember you're not the only one going through it. We're all in it together, and give you some empowerment tools and something you can use throughout the month. And then we'll talk about some takeaways at the very end. So let's dive right in to the theme for January 2025. The theme for January 2025 is momentum. So let me give the kind of textbook definition. I'm going to look over here. Strength or force gained by motion or a series of events. Strength or force gained by motion or a series of events. Have we not had an accumulation of a series of events over the past few months? And doesn't that feel like we're being pushed on a different trajectory a little bit? And a lot of people out there will say that that new trajectory might feel scary or uncertain or chaotic or traumatic or dramatic. I think there are elements of that, certainly, but I think if we shift our perspective, we can see it as positive. I think it's all in service of the light, all in service of enlightenment, all in service of us stepping into a better way of being. A better way of being us, a better way of being human, a better way of being community together. So I want to drop in now for the channeling. But before I do that, if you're, near a keyboard or you've got your device handy, let me know what you think of when you hear the word momentum. Just without us going through it together, does it feel scary for you? Do you feel like it feels a little unhinged, like it might get too fast, it might go too chaotic? Or do you feel like, yeah, let's bring some momentum. I'm ready. I'm curious to know like where it's split. And please, let's leave anything that is argumentative, political, any of that out of the conversation. This is just you on your personal landscape as well as the collective. When you hear the word momentum, what is that? How does that hit you? What do you feel for that? So let's drop into the channeling and see what my team of guides have to say about momentum. Hello, bright and beautiful beings. This is a time to celebrate. This is a time to elevate, and this is a time to cultivate. When we consider the word momentum, and when we chose this word to speak on and expand on for you this month, we were seeing it as progress. We were seeing it as rapid progress. We were seeing it as an escalation of the changes that have already been in place for much of your time on your planet. But we also see it as the ability to drop into the moment. And when you drop into the moment, perhaps you go, this feels really good to be in the moment. And we understand this is a bit of a cheesy, as you would say, pun. But for us, it is critical, it is crucial, it is highly important that for January, you learn to find your center. You cultivate the skills to be completely, fully, 100% present in the moment, because that is where all of your energy is. That is where all of your drive is. That is where your inspiration is born. That is where your courage sits. When you are looking out into a chaotic landscape, when you are looking out into things that are frightening, or when you are looking out and finding ways that you can hide from yourself, ways that you can hide from the chaos, ways that you can ignore what is going on, you are splitting and sending your energy to multiple other places. You are fractured. You are not whole. We would love and we request and we would ask and we hope to inspire you to be whole. Sit in that present moment. Consider it as the captain's seat. From there, you have all the tools that you need. You have all the dials on the dashboard. You can calibrate. You can see out the front window. You can see out the rear view mirror. You can see out the sides. You need not interact with any of that, but you have the knowledge and you have the power and you have the mechanism to steer, to stop, to go forward. When you're not in the present moment, you may consider yourself as being in the passenger seat or in the back seat, and you feel like you are swept away by so many things that are external to you and so many things that are not even tremendously impactful to you. And we do not advise not looking at the world around you and knowing what is going on. But we would recommend and we would counsel that as you look through those things, send everything love. Calm your nervous system in your responses and your reactions to what is occurring. Much is escalated fear, much is programmed fear, and it snowballs so that one thing that might be afraid or fearful for one person, when 10 people look upon it, now it's even scarier. When 100 people look upon it, it gets terrifying. And when 1,000,000 people look upon it, it seems overwhelming. Be the one person when you look at something. Do not share the collective exaltation and fear and fury. Look from within. Look from your heart. Look from your present moment and assess and direct from there in that delicious, beautiful captain's seat. We hope that you find this information very helpful to you. Remember, center into your present moment, and that is where you can find momentum. Be blessed, dear friends. So a little bit of a pun there with dropping into the present moment and saying, and that's how we get momentum. But one of my mentors many years ago channeled a phrase that has stuck with me. Pause creates momentum. Have you ever felt like, even if you're just working on a project or you're in a relationship or you're doing some task and it gets out of hand, it just gets too much and you feel overwhelmed, sometimes when you step away from it, you come back and knock it out, and it's like smooth sailing from there on out. Pause creates momentum. A lot of the images that I was seeing through the channeling related to like treading water. And that's what we've been doing. And that's what the world around us is kind of making us feel like we need to do. And we'll wear ourselves out with that. So it's important as we go into January and throughout 2020, how many 20s? 2025, that we have that beautiful ability to call in our energy to the present moment in a way that is really powerful for us. And I think one of the things that we're going to notice as well that came up, I have jotted down in my notes that I just want to mention, and you can let me know in the comments what you think of this. But one of the things we're going to start to experience more of, and I know many of you have already, but I think it's going to become more frequent, is time slippage. So just this weird relationship with time where an entire day feels like a blip, but then the next day, an hour may feel like it stretches the entire day. There's these pulses, and almost I'm stretching it like taffy because that's kind of how I see it. Things are going to feel strange. So just have that in the back of your mind as you are making plans, as you are booking any travel, as you are maybe looking at a goal that you feel you need to accomplish within a certain amount of time. Time is becoming more fluid and flexible and variable for us. It's part of the ascension path. It's part of how our world is being restructured. And you may experience it one way, someone next to you may experience it different. It's a unique individual perspective. So keep that in mind as well. But just honor that with yourself. I think another thing that I loved that the team brought up was regulating the nervous system. So there have been a lot of challenging aspects, we'll say, to witnessing what goes on in the world. But the more you can witness it and say, I witness it and I am still calm. I witness it and I am okay. I witness it and I send the most beautiful elevated emotion through my body and out into the world. That doesn't mean you're not looking at something. That doesn't mean you're shutting it out. It means you're broadcasting your frequency. That's what we're here to do. Friends, that's what we're getting really good at, is not just being the receiver, but being the broadcaster. So broadcast that beautiful radiant light that you hold out into the world. And if you feel like taking action on something, do that as well. But from a space of being grounded, from a space of being so secure and regulated in your nervous system that you don't have those ups and downs. Because those are not wasted energy, but that's an expensive energy that you could be using for something so much nicer. I also want to talk about a couple of aspects of the natural world that wanted to come in, or messages that came in when I was sitting down to film today. And we often talk about crystals or animals or things of the natural world. And today the crystal that wanted to come through was emerald. So this will touch on something that I've been in conversation about and with many others over the past few weeks. There is this expansion and elevation into what my team is calling the sacred heart. There's this push of energy for a lot of people that we're observing and feeling and noticing. Those all kind of mean the same thing, but bear with me. Where, if you know the energy system and you think of the heart chakra, it's a little higher than that. It's not quite up to the throat. It's kind of between the heart and the throat. What I've observed in working with others and noticing energy is there's like a new center, a new energy hub coming online for a lot of people in that space. If you aren't aware of that for yourself and you aren't having and paying attention to conversations like these, you may experience it as different affectations of your energy. So I wanted to bring it here, and let me know in the comments too if you're experiencing this. And again, my team is calling it the sacred heart. It's like this heart plus one. It's this aspect of us that is connected more to fifth dimensional existence, more to spirituality in that sense, almost like on a different platform. Kind of like, you know how when you're between shoe sizes or ring sizes, you might be a size 5 ring, but it goes up to 5 1/4, 5 1/2. It's like the energy of our heart is getting a little half step in that way. And for emerald, I think that really represents heart energy. And that emerald just wants to really support and be part of that expansion for those of you who are experiencing it. And everyone will come into that at their own time as well. That's highly individual, just like the time slippage. So if you haven't noticed it yet, don't think, oh no, I must not be getting this extra heart energy activated within me. What have I done wrong? It's not that. It's everybody comes to it at their own time. But also, emerald is really notable or noticed or good with, I don't know what I'm saying, psychic abilities, discernment, focus, and clarity. And when we talk about momentum and dropping into that present moment, how important are all of those? So I think having heart knowledge and focus and clarity and walking into January 2025 from that place is a beautiful thing. The other natural element that wanted to come through was actually an animal. And this word just popped into my head earlier today. And I thought, I know what that is, but I don't know how it relates. And I did a little research, and it's whippoorwill. So that's a little kind of cute bird. I think North America, I don't know if it exists in other places, in other continents and countries, but it has some lore around it. So depending on where you were raised and the stories that were told, it is either a sign of really great luck and new beginnings and fresh starts, or it's an omen of death. So from my perspective and what the team was sharing with me is it's a little of both, and those relate. So when we think about what's going on in the world, it is systems being reshaped, collapsing, things being tremendously transformed. Those are deaths and rebirths. So tuning into the energy of whippoorwill for you can help us navigate that momentum and sit in that kind of sweet spot between birth and death of a project, birth and death of a relationship, birth and death of something in the collective that we're witnessing. So let's take a look at the art for the month of January. And I'm going to pull it up on my computer here to the side of me and just talk through it with us. So for me, this looks very almost mechanical. It looks like gears turning. That's the first kind of sense that I get from it. And I just noticed, so I did this art, I don't know, several days ago, and then the messages kind of come in separately. Sometimes they dovetail and come together, but often the art is the art, and then the message is the message. And then it's a surprise to me when I see them come together too. And I'm seeing part of that surprise right now is the beautiful emerald crystalline energy on either side. And there is that beautiful orange color around the heart, and just a lot of things that look like patterns of activation, patterns of enhancement and enlargement. And there's a little chaos to it as well. But again, the energy of chaos is where creation lives. So anybody who's an artist knows, and not just this kind of art, but dancers, speakers, painters, carpenters, writers, any kind of art that comes through you. And I think we all are, just by the sheer nature of our existence. Sometimes the things that are the most inspiring or the most creative come out of like this tangled mess of, I don't know what to do with all this. Oh, there it is. There's a painting. Or, oh, there it is. There's a poem. It's that struggle and that chaos that leads to creation. So apply that to the larger collective and the world around us as well. I want to mention also, if you like this piece of art, you can download a copy for free through my website. You can also order a fine art print on paper, metal, or canvas if you would like to bring that home and have it in your space. They're really powerful pieces in that way. So let's send you off with the affirmation for the month. The affirmation for this month is, I stand fully present in this now moment and call all of my energy back to me to be made anew in unconditional love. Let me say it one more time, and then we'll put it on the screen as well. I stand fully present in this now moment and call all of my energy back to me to be made anew in unconditional love. And if you like affirmations, I just quickly want to mention I have started a second channel that has daily affirmations, 7 a.m. Eastern every day. I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to subscribe to that. So for the takeaways for this month, I really just want to say I'm so proud of so many of you. If you're showing up to videos like this and conversations like this and podcasts and things in this realm, in this space, what a beautiful human you are. You are doing the hard and sacred, beautiful work of transitioning, of helping this world shift, helping this world elevate, helping this world ascend. And so from my heart to yours, thank you for all that you're doing. And I think as we go through January, thinking about all the ways that you can call yourself back home to you, all the ways that you can amass that energy and, like the affirmation said, make it anew in unconditional love. And that's all I have today, my friends. I wish you the most amazing month. I'll be back with other videos soon. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're seeing and witnessing out in the world today. And I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you next time. Bye.